All right, so this is just going to be a 100,000 mile review on my 2019 Ford F450. I purchased it new with 40 miles on it, and I've done all 100,000 miles myself on it, and that was basically in a little less than 5 years. So I just wanted to talk about kind of maintenance on the truck, what has gone wrong, what hasn't gone wrong, and kind of let you know what type of driving I've done with it. So I bought it completely stock, brand new, and I put the camper on it probably 1,500 miles after buying it, and it's basically been on the truck ever since. I've taken it off 2 or 3 times just to put a few things in the bed when I needed to move some stuff, but for all intents and purposes, um, 97,000 of the 100,000 miles, the camper has been on the truck, meaning that the motor has dealt with the camper on the truck its entire time. Um, Also, in addition to that, the 41-inch Continental MPT 81s that are on the truck, um, I did that conversion at about 4,000 miles. And since then, it's had this 2-inch lift and these 41-inch tires that entire time, and this is my second set of tires, and I'll kind of do a review on tire wear and how many miles I got out of each set and where I'm at with that. But for right now, I'm just going to talk about the actual Ford truck and the 6.7 motor. um, so that being said, I purchased it, and the day after I bought it, I had a transmission oil leak at 150 miles on it. I drove it basically from San Diego to LA, and then had a pretty substantial transmission leak. Dealer took it back, gave me a rental truck. They had it for a week. It ended up being a hose that just I don't think was clipped in correctly at the manufacturer, or whatever the case may be. Um, it had a tranny leak. Okay, so that was the day after I bought it, basically, which had me a bit skeptical. And everybody's like, oh, shouldn't have bought a Ford and this or that. So I work pipeline work, and a lot of the welders run Dodges, and you kind of know that whole situation with Dodge, Chevy versus Ford. So didn't really start off to a good start. I had a tranny leak, and then they fixed it, gave me a rental truck, um, ended up bumping me up to the 100,000 mile extended, more expensive warranty that I opted out of just because of the inconvenience of the tranny leak and my concerns kind of with the tranny leaking. So I had that, got that fixed, and I have not had it back at the dealer since in 5 years for anything. Not one thing has gone wrong with the truck from a Ford standpoint. Um, when I put these 41-inch MPTs on it, I had the gear ratio changed. So I went from the I think it's 450 that come with the truck, or 433s. I can't remember exactly what comes stock with these. I got a set of 488s that come out of the F550 cabin chassis truck, from DBL, who makes the super single conversion, and I had those 488 gears installed when I put the tires on, and like I said, that was somewhere between 4 and 5,000 miles. Um, and about 65 to 70,000 miles in, the rear pinion seal was leaking, but I can't really blame Ford for that, just because I had the axles opened up to do gearing. So the shop that did the regearing fixed that seal for me, um, basically for free. I just had to pay for oil. They didn't charge me labor. So I had the pinion seal fixed, and that was it with the axles. I've had to change the batteries twice in 5 years, so two batteries 2 times, which is a little surprising. But I think with the camper being on it full time and drawing power and me traveling in it a lot and really using the truck a lot, the batteries have just kind of worn out and gone bad. So I've changed the batteries 2 times. Obviously, you're just standard oil changes and fuel filter changes. and things like that. In regards to the lift is a pretty standard lift, but I do have a different track bar. But all the other bushings and everything else from the suspension is all stock, aside from the just like small Fox shock I have on here. It's a very basic lift. So I haven't had to replace brakes or anything like that. I have 100,000 miles on it, and the brakes still have like basically looks like 50% life, and that's with having the camper on the truck the whole time. And um, I use this truck to go to the desert, so I connect a trailer to the back of this and tow a truck, a Gen 1 Raptor, so it weighs 6,000 pounds. The trailer's another 2,500 pounds minimum. And so I'm somewhere around 26,000 pounds total with the truck and the camper. Um, I just keep a spare down here underneath, and I run a hitch extension. Okay, so I do that probably 3-4 times a year with having the trailer connected to the back and towing a couple hundred miles each way. Grades, coming up from El Centro into San Diego, if anybody's kind of familiar with that. And then also with going up to Barstow and places like that, there's another grade going up that way. So this truck will tow with the trailer and the camper on the truck perfectly fine. Cruise control, adaptive cruise control, 70 miles an hour. This is the 6-speed. It's the last year before they went to the 10-speed. And it rarely has to downshift. I mean, if it has to climb a hill, it'll downshift. I see 230 engine oil and transmission oil a lot. I was kind of concerned about it from previous Fords I had, and I went to the Ford dealer a couple of times initially because I thought it was going to be a problem, and do I need to do this or do an oil pan or do this or do that? And they kept telling me it's going to go into limp mode before you hurt anything, or you should just run it. So I haven't changed anything in regards to the cooling. I haven't even changed the fuel filter, the upper one in the engine area that I know people are saying go bad and break and start fires and all this stuff. It doesn't have a single modified part on it other than a K&N drop-in filter, and I re-geared it. Still has a DEF system. I haven't had a problem with the DEF system. The one thing I will say is that with the load on the truck and me driving a lot, it gets hot a lot. I don't idle it a lot intentionally, and I drive it, 1 to 2 hours straight all the time. So it has the ability to get hot all the time. Where I know a lot of the issues with the DEF system is just if you're running errands in the truck and the bed's always unloaded and you're just driving it around like a regular car. At least that's what, from my understanding, is how that works. I can't say for certain, but in my experience, I just have not had a single issue other than a transmission leak that I think was an assembly issue. Um, and it was just a hose replacement. They didn't even like replace the transmission or anything. It was just a hose replacement. And then I've just done fluid changes, batteries, and then I had a pinion seal um, leak in the rear axle, but that was covered by the company that did the um, re-gearing. Um, I will say people talk about the like speed wobble or shakes or whatever you want to call it, the shimmy that you get in the wheel, and I will honestly actually get that sometimes with this truck, and I find that if I am not rotating the tires, that normally happens, and then if I rotate the tires in a couple hundred miles, the tires just kind of wear back in after I've rotated them, and it goes away. I know it's kind of seems like a common thing with the Fords to get the death wobble or whatever. I haven't had anything too extreme with it. As soon as I kind of start to notice it or get it, I just rotate the tires when I change the oil. And it's kind of a pain in the ass because each one of these wheels weighs nearly 300 pounds. So, but I do rotate the tires anywhere between every 10 and 20,000 miles, and try to stay on top of that. But yeah, so I just want to kind of give you guys a kind of just an overall thoughts on the truck for 100,000 miles. I really couldn't be happier with it. I don't really intend to get rid of it for a newer one. I'm hoping to be able to really get a couple 100,000 miles plus out of this thing. And I've thought about deleting it. I've thought about doing a larger engine oil pan and transmission pan and doing this and doing that. And I've had the warranty on it. I figured, okay, it's a motor home. I'm not racing it around. Let's just run it and see what happens. And I haven't had a problem. So I think once I have a problem, like let's say that the DEF system gives me a problem, okay, maybe we'll think about getting rid of it or whatever. Or I have some other kind of issue, then I'll start upgrading things as far as like the fuel filters, or go to larger oil capacities or things like that. But for the workload that this truck goes through, um, it's been pretty surprising. I don't know if you can see, there's a lot of hills back here behind me. And with working pipeline work and stuff, I take this truck on upwards of 16, 18 degree hills to get back in here to do work with this camper on the truck. And I don't do it every day, okay, but I do it a lot. um, I'm on right-of-ways, I'm on dirt, it's off-roading, the suspension's articulating, the camper has been on it, I stay in the camper instead of staying in hotels. So the truck has just, it's been great from that regard. I mean, I use it on a daily basis. It's always started on me. I haven't had to take it to the dealer. In the back, one thing I will point out is that I do have an aftermarket leaf pack, um, just for the load of um, the camper and when I tow. Uh, it, basically, I wanted to raise it up without using blocks to have full suspension articulation for actual off-roading slow. This kit came with a block to go under the OEM Leafs. I have a little bit of off-road knowledge and pre-runners and been off-roading most of my life, so a block is kind of useless because you get lift but no added suspension. I went to Atlas and had them make me a custom leaf pack. I took the truck there with the camper on it. They pulled the leaves off and made a leaf pack to make the truck sit level with the 2-inch lift in the front. So yeah, I mean, that's basically that. I'll do another video of like a camper review. I'll do a review on the Continental MPT 81s, which this is my second set. I have nearly 100,000 miles total time on 2 different sets of these tires, and kind of talk about the pros and cons with that, the super single stuff and different things like that. But I really can't say enough good things about just the F450, the 6.7, and how reliable it's been for me. And I know there's plenty of people that have problems with these things or swear that Dodge is better or this or that, but all I can say for me is that I haven't had a single issue in 100,000 miles in 5 years. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks.